भगवद्गीता चतुर्थोऽध्यायः ज्ञानकर्मसन्न्यासयोगः। Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 4, Renunciation of Action in Knowledge. Sri Bhagavanuvacha Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanahamavyayam Vivasvan manave praha manurikshvakave bravit. The blessed Lord said, I imparted this immortal yoga to Vivasvan to Manu, and Manu to Ikshvaku. Evam parampara praptamimam rajarshayo viduhu. Sa kale neha mahata yogo nastah parantapa. O scorcher of foes, this yoga, handed down from teacher to disciple in succession, was known to the Rajarshis, that is, royal sages, but owing to long lapse of time, it was lost to the world. Sa evayam maya tedya yogaha proktah puratanaha bhaktosi me sakache tirasyam hetaduttamam. You are my devotee and friend. Thinking thus, I have today declared to you even that ancient yoga, for it is a noble secret that is imparted by a teacher only to a worthy disciple. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma param janma vivasvataha katametad vijaniyam tvamadau proktavaniti. Arjuna said, the lifetime is latter, that of Vivasvan was much earlier. How then am I to understand that thou didst impart this doctrine to him? Sri Bhagavanuvacha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna Tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vetta parantapa. The blessed Lord said, O Arjuna, you and I have passed through many births. I remember them all, but you do not. O scorcher of foes, Ajopi sannavyayatma bhutanamishvaropi san Prakrutim swamadishtaya sambhavamyatma mayaya. Though birthless and deathless, and the Lord of all beings as well, yet I, that is the eternal being, take birth by my inherent mysterious power, Atma Mayaya, employing the pure or sattva aspect of my material nature, that is Prakruti. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamyaham. Whenever there is decline of dharma and ascendance of adharma, then, ocean of the Bharata race, I manifest, that is, incarnate myself in a body. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanardaya sambhavami yuge yuge. For the protection of the good, for the destruction of the wicked, and for the establishment of dharma, I am born from age to age. Janma karma cha me divyamevam yo vetti tattvataha Chaktva deham punarjanmanaiti mameti so Arjuna. O Arjuna, he who thus understands the truth about my embodiment and my deeds, he, on abandoning his present body, is not reborn. He attains to me. Vitaraga bhayakrodha manmaya mamupashrita Bahavo gnana tapasa puta madbhavamagata. Freed from passion, fear and anger, ever absorbed in my thought and ever dependent on me, many have attained to my state, being purified by the fire of knowledge and austerity. ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्त्म्यानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः. O Partha, whosoever worship me through whatsoever path, I verily accept and bless them in that way. Men everywhere follow my path. काङ्क्षन्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं यजन्त इह देवता क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा. In this world, those who entertain desire for the fruits of pious works worship the deities, for in this world of men such actions bear fruit quickly. चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्या कर्तारमव्ययम्. According to the aptitudes resulting from the dispositions of nature, that is gunas, and from works, the social order of fourfold division has been created by me. Though I am their originator, know me to be not an agent but the spirit unchanging. Na mam karmani limpanti na me karma phale spruha iti mam yo bhijanati karma birna sabadhyate. Actions do not affect me, nor have I any desire for the fruits of action. Whoever knows me to be so is not bound by karma. एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्मैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वैः पूर्वतरं कृतम्. Knowing thus the ancient aspirants after liberation performed works, therefore you too do work as these ancients did from time immemorial. किं कर्म किमकर्मेति कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहिताः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात्. What is work and what is non-work is a subject regarding which even the wise are perplexed. I shall therefore speak to you about work, by knowing which one is liberated from evil, that is, or the life of bondage in samsara. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam bodhavya cha vikarmanah akarmanasya bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. The truth about the nature of beneficial work has to be understood, as also of baneful work and of non-work. The way of work is difficult indeed to understand. कर्मण्य कर्मयः पश्येद कर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्न कर्म कृतो. He who sees work in no work and no work in work, he is wise among men. Even while doing all work, he remains established in yoga. यस्य सर्वे समारंभा काम संकल्प वर्जिता ज्ञानाग्निदग्ध कर्माणां तमाहु पंडितं बुधा. Whose understandings are devoid of self-centered objectives, whose works have been burnt up by the fire of knowledge, him the wise call a sage. त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासंज्ञं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः. Without attachment to the fruits of action, ever satisfied and free from calculations, he is verily doing nothing, even though engaged in actions. निराशीर्यत चित्तात्मा त्यक्त सर्व परिग्रह शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम्. One who is free from desires, whose mind is well controlled, and who is without any sense of ownership, incurs no sin from works, as his actions are merely physical. यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टः द्वन्द्वातीतो विमत्सरः समसिद्धावसिद्धौ च कृत्वापि न निबध्यते. Satisfied with whatever comes without calculations, rising above the contrasting conditions of life, without any competitive spirit, and alike in success and in failure, a man, though working, incurs no sin. गतसज्ञस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञाय चरितः कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते. In the case of one who is without attachments and the sense of agency, and whose mind is fully established in the knowledge of God, his actions, being done in dedication to the Lord, melt away with their very tendencies. ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना. To one of the above description, the ladle with which the offerings is made and the oblations are Brahman, and the sacrificial rite, that is, which is Brahman, is performed by the sacrificer who is Brahman, in the fire which too is Brahman. He who is thus absorbed in work as Brahman attains to Brahman alone. दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते ब्रह्माग्नपवरे यज्ञं यज्ञो नैवोपजुह्वति. Some yogis perform sacrifices especially wanting to propitiate deities. Still others offer sacrifice, that is the Atma itself, as oblation, that is yajna, in the fire of Brahman. श्रोत्रादीनीन्द्रियाण्ये संयमाग्निश जुह्वति शब्दादीन् विषयानन्ये इन्द्रियाग्निश जुह्वति. Some offer their organs of knowledge like hearing as sacrifice in the fire of restraint, while others take in all their sense perceptions as oblations made in the fire of their respective senses. सर्वाणि इन्द्रियकर्माणि प्राणकर्माणि चापरे आत्मसंयमयोगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते. Others offer all the functions of their senses and vital energy as sacrificial offerings in the fire of self-restraint kindled by knowledge. द्रव्ययज्ञास्तपो यज्ञा योगयज्ञास्तथा परे स्वाध्याय अज्ञानयज्ञाश्च यतयः संशितव्रता. Likewise others, being of rigid vows and hard practice, offer their wealth, their austerities, their yogic practices, and their daily study of the Vedas as sacrifice. अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे प्राणापानगतिरुद्ध्वा प्राणायामपरायणः. Others devoted to the practice of pranayama regulate the movement of prana and apana and offer as oblation prana in apana and likewise apana in prana. अपरे नियताहारः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति सर्वेष्येते यज्ञविदो यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषा. Some others who observe regulation of food make a sacrificial offering of the prana as the vital energy present in foodstuffs into the prana as the vital energy enlivening the body. All these know the true nature of sacrifice and have all evil in them washed away by yajna, that is sacrifice. यज्ञशिष्टामृतभुजो यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनम् नायं लोकोऽस्त्ययज्ञस्य कुतोऽन्यः कुरु सत्तमा. Those who partake of nectar, the sacramental remnants of sacrifice, attain to the eternal Brahman. O thou, the best of the Kurus, for one who sacrifices not, this world is lost, not to speak then of the hereafter. एवं बहुविधा यज्ञा वितता ब्रह्मणो मुखे कर्मजान् विद्धि तान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे. Thus, many forms of sacrifice are set forth prominently in the Vedas, that is, as paths to Brahman. All of them spring from work done by body, mind, and speech. Knowing this, you will attain liberation. श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयाद्य यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तपा सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते. O scorcher of enemies, sacrifice involving knowledge is superior to sacrifice with material objects. For, O son of Partha, all works without exception culminate in knowledge. तद्विद्य प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः. With reverential salutations do you approach them? The wise men who have known the truth, serve them and question them repeatedly, that is, with due respect, until your doubts are clarified. These wise men will impart the knowledge of this divine truth to you. Yajnatvana punarmohamevam yasasi pandava yena bhutanya sheshena drakshasyaatmanyado mayi. They will impart to you that divine knowledge, by knowing which you will not again fall into such delusion, for you will then see all beings in their entirely in the self and also in me. Api chedasi papebhyah sarvebhyah papakruttamaha sarvam jnanaplavenaiva vrujinam santarishyasi. Even if you happen to be the worst of sinners, you will surely go across all sin by the raft of divine knowledge. यतैदांसि सम्मिद्धो अग्निर्भस्मसात् कुरुते अर्जुना ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा. Just as a well-kindled fire reduces a heap of firewood to ashes, so does the fire of divine knowledge reduce all sins to ashes. न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्सव्ययं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति. Verily, there is nothing so purifying as knowledge in this world. One who is perfect in yoga discovers it in oneself in course of time. श्रद्धावान् लभते ज्ञानं तत्परस्य यतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिमचिरेणाधिगच्छति. A man of deep faith, that is Shraddha, obtains this divine knowledge, being full of zeal and devotion for it, and endowed with mastery of the senses. Having obtained that knowledge, he is established in supreme peace very soon. Agnascha shraddadhanascha samshayatma vinashyati nayam lokosti na paro na sukham samshayatmanaha. An ignorant man without any positive faith, who knows only to doubt, goes to ruin. To such a doubting soul there is neither this world nor the world beyond. There is no happiness for him. Yoga samnyasta karmanam gnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantam na karmani nibadhanti dhananjaya. O Arjuna, Works do not bind one who has abandoned them through yoga, consisting in dedication and detachment, whose doubts have been dispelled by divine knowledge, and who is poised in the self. तस्माद् अज्ञानसम्भूतं हृतुस्थं ज्ञानसीनात्मनः चित्वैनं संशयं योगमातिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ भारत. Therefore, cutting asunder the sceptical tendency of the heart by the sword of divine knowledge, betake yourself to yoga, that is communion through sacrificial work, and arise, ocean of the Bharata race. इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे ज्ञानयोगो नाम चतुर्थोऽध्यायः समाप्तः. Om. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter 4, The Path of Renunciation with Self-Knowledge. The summary of Chapter 4. Lord comes to earth from time to time in a life form to set things right on the earth. The Lord fulfills the desires of those who worship Him. There are 4 types of spiritual practices or yajna. Both selfless service and self-knowledge free the soul from the bondages of karma. The Lord gives self-knowledge to those who do selfless service. Self-knowledge burns all our past karma and frees us from the wheel or cycles of birth and death. There is a story in the Mahabharata of a devoted karma yogi and an ideal student who worshipped his guru and got what he wanted. Ekalavya, the ideal student, Guru Dronacharya or Drona was the military teacher, that is Guru, appointed by grandfather Bhishma for all the Kaurava and Pandava brothers. Many other princes also took military training under him. Drona was very much pleased by Arjuna's personal service and devotion to him, and he promised him, I will train you to the best archer in the world. One day, a very gentle boy named Ekalavya from a nearby village came to Drona and wanted to learn archery from him. He had heard from his mother about master archer Dronacharya, who was the son of the sage Bharadwaja and a disciple of sage Parashurama. Ekalavya was a jungle boy belonging to the hunters community. Drona was worried how he could teach a jungle boy along with the royal children, so he decided not to keep the boy with him there and told him, Son, it will be very difficult for me to teach you, but you are a born archer. Go back to the forest and practice well with deep interest. You too are my disciple. May you master archery as you wish. Drona's words were a great blessing to Ekalavya. He understood his helplessness and felt confident that the master's good wishes were with him. He made a clay idol of Dronacharya, installed it in a nice place, and began to worship it respectfully by offering flowers, fruits, etc. He worshipped this idol of his guru every day, practiced the lessons in archery in the master's absence, and mastered the art. Ekalavya would get up early in the morning, bathe himself and offer worship to the master's idol. He cherished the words, actions and training methods of Drona that he had seen at Guru Drona's ashram. He faithfully followed the instructions and continued his practice, while Arjuna had personally mastered archery from Drona, learning from him first-hand. Ekalavya achieved equally impressive skill while worshipping the master from far away. If he could not do a particular technique, he would rush to Drona's image, present his problem and meditate until a solution appeared in his mind. He would then proceed further. The story of Ekalavya demonstrates that one can achieve anything in life if one has faith and works sincerely to reach the goal. The story continues. The Kaurava and Pandava princes once went to the forest on a hunting trip. Their leading dog was running forward. Ekalavya, a dark-skinned young man dressed in a tiger skin and wearing strings of conch beads, was engaged in his practice. The dog, on approaching him, began to bark. Probably wishing to show off his skill, Ekalavya sent down a series of 7 arrows in the direction of the barking dog, and his arrows filled its mouth. The dog ran back to the princess, who were surprised at this skill in archery and wondered who the archer was. Arjuna, seeing this, was not only surprised but also worried. He wanted to be known as the world's best archer. The princess went in search of the archer who had hit their dog with so many arrows in such a short time and found Ekalavya. Arjuna said, "Your skill in archery is great. Who is your guru?" "My guru is Dronacharya," replied Ekalavya humbly. Arjuna was shocked at the mention of Drona's name. Was this true? Could his dear teacher teach so much to this boy? If so, what about the master's promise to him? When did Drona teach the boy? Arjuna had never seen Ekalavya before in his class. When Drona heard this story, he remembered Ekalavya and went to see him. Drona said, "Your learning has been very good, son. I am deeply satisfied with devotion and practice. You have done very well. May your achievement become an example for all to follow." Ekalavya was very happy and said, "Thank you, O Gurudeva. I too am a disciple of yours. Otherwise, I do not know whether I could have done this much." Drona said, "If you accept me as your master, you must pay my fee after your training. Think it over." Ekalavya smilingly replied, "What is there to think over, sir? I am your disciple and you are my guru. Please say what you wish." "Sir, I will fulfill it even if I have to sacrifice my life in the effort." "Ekalavya, I have to demand a supreme sacrifice from you to fulfill my word to Bhishma and Arjuna, that nobody would ever equal Arjuna in archery." "Pardon me, son. Can you give me the thumb of your right hand as my fee?" Ekalavya stared at Dronacharya for a while. He could understand the master's problem. He then stood up, walked to the Drona's idol with determination, placed his right thumb upon a stone, and cut it off in an instant, using his left hand and an arrow. Drona, while feeling sorry for the injury he had caused Ekalavya, was at the same time deeply touched by such great devotion. He hugged him, saying, "Son, your love for Guru is unmatched. I feel a sense of fulfillment in having had a disciple like you. May God bless you." Ekalavya got victory in defeat. With the right thumb gone, he could no longer use the bow effectively, but he continued his practice using his left arm. By virtue of his supreme sacrifice, he received the grace of God and achieved distinction as a left-handed archer. He proved that nothing could stop a totally sincere effort. By his actions and behavior, Ekalavya showed that your inferior or superior status is not determined by the community you belong to, but by your vision and qualities of mind and heart. Drona was a great guru. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. चतुर्थोऽध्यायः समाप्तः।